Furious Rajang is a very angry monkey, and although we may enjoy our monkeys we may even stan, this beast is extremely spooky and relentless. It gives you pause for thought, making you wonder, did Frieza have a point? Through the events, you're able to take on Furious Rajang at MR24 as soon as you've beaten the Iceborne campaign, without having to do a bunch of special assignments, any strings of quests, getting your guiding lands up to speed, nothing like that, making it a fantastic choice late game post-campaign before you build out other endgame sets. We'll take a look at the event that you can run to face off against Furious Rajang, the actual fight itself, what you need to look out for and how you can find openings to deal damage, and a full breakdown of the weapons, you can make all 14, and armor sets that you can craft from the Furious Rajang parts. I'm Light It Up Dan. The sort of content I love to produce aims to reduce the overwhelm and unknown of the Monster Hunter games. You may have caught some of my weapon overviews, event roundups, or shorts. Check them out if you haven't, there's something there for everyone. Very quickly, a massive thank you for really turning up and getting us to around 80% of unsubscribed viewers on the channel, with the majority of you returning. If you enjoy the videos, do subscribe. I'm aiming for 50%. And with that said, let's jump in. The event we're after is called Monkey Business, an MR24 event against the Furious Rajang in Hoarfrost Reach. Just be mindful that we're specifically after Furious Rajang, not the regular Rajang, and of course that it's a non-guiding lands version so we can use the materials to craft gear. In terms of preparation, you're going to want to bring your best gear, your best loadouts, and there's nothing too specific for the monster other than taking 1 tremor resist. I always have 3 stun resist as a default, so I don't really mention that, but if that's something that you don't take, I would highly recommend it. Once you've jumped into the quest, you're more than likely to find Furious Rajang hanging out at the hot springs. Be mindful that in Hoarfrost Reach, you'll need to have the hot drink effect active to stop your stamina bar from rapidly decreasing. It could be quite annoying when the game just drops you off exactly where Furious Rajang is, because you need that time to prepare, get your hot drink in, use your buffs, etc. But maybe Capcom just has faith in us. Misplaced and misguided though it may be. Furious Rajang hits really hard, really fast, and is seemingly relentless without any openings. He spends much of the fight enraged and has an anti-clutch claw mechanic where he'll grab you, slam you into the ground, and then Hulk smash you Loki style. It kind of sucks. Have no fear, there are actually quite a few openings, but they just demand a certain level of uptime and aggression from you. Maybe unlike anything you've really encountered up until this point, as all of your core damage windows are directly after specific attacks, all of which are very painful. Also, keep in mind that Furious Rajang does not have a tail like the regular Rajang. So unlike the regular version, for the Furious variant, you're unable to hit the tail to bring it out of its Super Saiyan charged state. You're also unable to actually tenderize the head, despite that being the main target you're going to have to aim for. Tenderizing and targeting the lower body is also effective. Let's break down the monster's various attacks and what openings it actually has. When he does the mouth Kamehameha beam, you've got maybe 1 second to read the tell, avoid the beam, and move over to the front side of him, enabling you to get damage out on the head. Just don't get too close to the beam, the hitbox is a little bigger than the actual visuals make it seem to be. So long as you stay more to the side as you're striking the head, you should avoid it. If you're close by and you read the tell quickly, this is quite a big window to get a few hits off on the head. Be mindful that Furious Rajang can also enter a further enraged state, letting out a huge roar, bulging out its biceps with a red glow that will cause them to take next to no damage and your attacks to bounce off, making things quite tricky when you're aiming for the head. This is where precision is key. Another attack to look out for is when the monster jumps into the air and shoots out an array of electric balls from its mouth, propelling it backwards and then landing, giving you a large damage window after. The electric orbs will fire forwards, enabling you to roll forwards into them to avoid the attack, while also gap closing so you can take advantage of the damage window against Furious Rajang. In order to capitalize on this attack and turn it into a damage opportunity, you once more have to be able to read it quite quickly and be close by in order to roll forward in front of the attack. Be mindful that the forward trajectory of the electric orbs is dependent upon Furious Rajang being able to move backwards in the air. So if he's up against a wall preventing him from moving backwards, the orbs will fire out directly in front of him. In this case, don't roll forwards, otherwise you'll just roll into the orbs. One of the monster's most deadly attacks is when it lets out this roar. It's got a big tail, then jumps up into the air to slam down with absolute devastating force. Getting caught by this is super bad news and will likely cart you. However, reading it, and as I say, it's got a huge tail, allows you to comfortably roll out of the way of the slam, gap close back in, and get some hits out on the head. One of the most common attacks you'll see is Rajang raising its arms up in the air and then slamming down with both of them. Quite a quick attack with a pretty obvious tail that gives you a nice juicy window straight after it. Attacks like this and so many others are where you'll really feel not having that one tremor resist. The last of the attacks with pretty decent tails to look out for is the charged one-arm slam, which sends 5 lightning bolts coursing through the ground, which then explode moments after. There's an obvious quite long tail at the beginning, and then provided you're not in its face to get caught by the initial blast, you've got time even after the ground lightning bolts have been laid, not only to gap close but also roll through the damage. Evade window 5 will be very useful here, or to just stay to the sides of them, giving you one of the biggest damage windows after any of these attacks. There are others, and some are situational, circumstantial, such as the arm spin he does, but it doesn't have much of a tail, so you need to be in the right place at the right time, or even stuff like taking advantage of ledges to get more mounts. Absolutely valid and should be something you aim for too. But in terms of the big damage windows off the core attacks, punishing these will see you through. Put all of this into practice, finish sympathizing with Frieza and his cause, and you'll be rewarded with your furious Rajang parts. At the smithy, we can craft the full armor set and any of the 14 weapons. Here you can see that the beta armor is absolutely phenomenal, with top of the class defense, balanced elemental resistances other than the terrible ice defense, some brilliant skills, useful set bonuses, and very generous gem slots. 5 maximum might with maximum might secrets, 3 earplugs, a full 3 health boost so you don't even need to think about it, 2 stamina surge, and 1 heroics. All of the armor pieces here are super useful, and off the back of finishing the campaign when you've just sort of hit around MR24, this gear is so powerful, it's going to really set you up. With particular attention to the leg armor, which comes with 3 health boost and 2 level 4 gem slots. I used this armor set a lot before I moved over to the Alatreon gear. It might be a nice in-between before you get Raging Brachii armor if that's what you're going for as well. Either way, it is dope. As for the weapons, you can craft all 14 of them. Coming in at rarity 12, they boast tremendous raw damage, a healthy chunk of purple sharpness giving you the highest damage modifier, good base affinity, and even some thunder elemental thrown in too. Sadly, no gem slots. This is a really good direct craft weapon. You get everything you need to make it out of running that one event alone. And if you're hitting this right after finishing the campaign, this is going to be such a big step up for you. It will really see you through as you're doing your other things like collecting your Frostfang Barrier weapons, getting yourself Alatreon ready, facing down Raging Brachii, etc. Not to mention that they've got some of the most unique and sickest designs in the game. Both the weapons and the armor, but specifically the weapons here, they look absolutely incredible, unlike anything else the game has to offer, which is why I say do not skip this gear. Have you made yourself Furious Rajang armor and weapons yet? Is it something you're aiming for? Let me know in the comments, I would love to hear from you. As mentioned at the start, a huge thank you for really turning up and getting us to around 80% of unsubscribed viewers, with the majority of you returning. If you enjoyed the videos, do subscribe. For a mature, inclusive community that hunts together across different platforms and different games, come and join the Discord, let's get some open sessions together. I also run open lobbies during the live streams here and on Twitch. I will leave all of these links for you in the description. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in the new world.